Alright, so after a little bit of messing around there, I got the brackets on. Not the way you're really supposed to do it. Like I said, it doesn't really work for LGA 1366, but I'm gonna make it work. Just got my own back plate, and I just took the threads out of the other one of these because I have so many of these I don't need them anyways. Like I got so many, no need. Yeah, so I got it all mounted down for the actual holder. I'm gonna get some thermal paste on it, and I'm gonna do a quick mount test. Now it comes with Thermalite, but this is my own kind of mix. It's not super dry, it's not super wet. I just gotta remix it a little bit. Looks like it got tipped over a bit. So this is a mix of thermal paste, some thermal grizzly in it, some diamond paste in it. Diamond paste isn't for everyone. If you do a lot of overclocking, you don't want to be using diamond paste on direct die. And the direct die, you kind of, not unless you want to like polish your die each time you do it, because you will polish it each time. Alright, so that should be enough to get me started here. Just a little something to get a little started. Grab the Peerless here. Oh yeah, it's already gonna sit down nice. I can already tell. So this thing kind of sucks to put on. So you gotta put some force onto it. It really sucks. Okay, that's one side. It's the other side. We don't need to go nuts with it. Actually, I'll just see where we're at here. Alright. Fairly even. Oh yeah, it's fairly even. You got the paste nice. Oh yeah. Okay. Now with these, I like to keep some pressure just in the center when I'm taking it back off. So you don't kind of want it to, because these things got some pretty heavy springs on each side, so you don't want it to pop up on the one side. You just want it to loosen off there, like that, so everything's still sitting flush. So when you take it off, you can pull it off flat. Oh yeah. So this is what I'm talking about with there. And yes, I did leave on the plastic. Some people don't do it. So that way I don't have to clean it again. But see the thermal paste spread? That's not without full tightening it down either. So if I fully tightened it down, it would even it out. I could have tightened it a little more on the top. But as you can see, with that lapping, and these, I'm finding these Peerless Assassins, like, look at the spread. It's beautiful. Warning, warning. Look at it. This is why I left on the peel. So you can see right through it. So you can see where all the thicker spots are is when I pulled it up. That's the suction. And all the spread on the outside of the die when it goes over the edge there when you pull it back up, will suck in, and you'll notice all of these. You'll notice all the thicker lines around the edge there. That's how you know you got a good seal. From factory, 99% of these have a small concave, and that's just because of the way the IHS are. It's just the way they are now. It's just. But I'm not sure if it's due to the soldering that they do on it or what. Yeah, okay, so that's that. I can grab myself a rag. Myself a rag here. Everything all cleaned up nicely. Oh yeah. We'll put some good thermal paste on it. And I'll hit this with the clean side. Make sure there's no glue residue. No glue residue. Alright. Nice and shiny. Nice and shiny. Like that. Yeah, I don't know if it's just the way they manufacture them or if they have a really nice because you can see machining. You can actually see like a swirl. This is brand new. Remember, this one's brand new. Never been touched except for now. We got a little bit of thermal paste here, not a whole lot. And we'll go. No. Oh, that's a nice big air bubble. See, that's why I don't like this kind of thermal paste either. It's not. Seems really dry. Seems fairly dry. Well, we'll see in the tests. We'll see in the tests. Oh yeah, she seems fairly dry. I like my own mix. So once you start doing your own, oh yeah, no, I don't like this at all. Alright, I'm mixing it. I have to mix it. I don't like that mix at all. So this one right here is Thermalrights paste. Yeah. It's like I don't want to touch it because you don't want it. Oh come on, open up. So what I'll do is dab in some of mine. Again, this is a mix. This is my own mix. Like you gotta make it yourself. Alright, now we're gonna mix this around. Oh yeah, there we go. What thins it out? Alright, I can actually spread it. And we'll just add the last bit right in the center of this. And yes, I am very stingy with my thermal paste. Again, this literally has diamond powder in it. Diamond dust. 70,000 grit diamond dust. Okay. And yes, if you are looking to make your own kind of thermal paste, you can just get a cheaper type of thermal paste. Try to get anything non-conductive. Like conductive, electrically conductive, not heat conductive. If you can do that, that would be your best bet. Give it a little twist. Now, like I said, if you are the type of people that are worried about scratching your nickel plating or the etching off of your, don't be twisting stuff around. Don't be just set it and let it sit. Eventually the thermal paste will squeeze its way out. You won't have to worry about it. Okay, now we'll check to see how. Make sure we don't got a big bend. Everything's looking good. Top can go a little more though. Top can go a bit more here. There we go. That's probably lots. Ooh. Just hit my other one. Yeah, these things are so nice. This one I did do a lap. That's why I can't show the machine because it's can't really show it. I did a lap it a little bit, but not much. Still nickel plating on it. Okay, so that's done. Nice. Nice. Alright, I'm happy with that. There's that. Now we're going to throw in our, I'll put that there. Put in our RAM. Maybe this is a smart idea for using the smaller sticks of RAM here. Okay, now we want to go secondary slot and the last slot. And that should work for us there. Like that. There's 8 gigs of RAM. Alright, this board's already getting heavy though. Yep. So I'm not sure if this is original. I'm pretty sure it's not original. It's probably just a stamped. I don't know. I don't do a whole lot of research on let's say what goes with what component. More or less I've read the research on these x58s, and it's not just this motherboard I bought around the same time. Like I said, I bought the Zeus x58s as well. They have multiple lineups of it. I got one of the top tiers. Again, the CPU, the actual pins in the CPU on the motherboard were messed up in a bunch of spots. Luckily, it was just the RAM in the one spot that I got affected, and you can't play games on. You only get like 3 frames. Doesn't matter what graphics card, you might get 6 frames, but that's about it. So it's kind of nice getting that with it. We will throw on. I don't think I'm gonna have to throw on a fan, do I? Nah. We'll throw on the. Actually, no. We'll just do a tester. We'll do a tester. Oh, what's a cool one I could use? Oh, I don't have any old. It's like no Intel. I got EVGA. Should I do an AMD one just for them AMD fanboys? Do an old ATI card? Oh yeah, maybe we will. My just my 24. Nah, it's my 1900 GT. This is my X1900 GTO. X1900 GTO, 256 megabytes, I believe. Yep, 256. She's an absolute beast. This card, yeah, one of those scrapyard finds. It did not work. It needed. Disassembled this card. The thermal pads they were using on these things are like brand new. You know how like these thermal pads we get in these cards now, they're all oily in that. No, these were nice still. Like a little, you know, dusty in that. This right here should be clear. That, oh, I can't even show it. Yeah, so yeah, you see the color? So where do you think this came from? Let me know in the comments section below where you think this GPU came from. What kind of household did it come from? Let me know in the comment section below Why is it this color? This card was washed by hand. It was soaked in water. I did it all. I did not touch any of the plastic with any kind of alcohols or anything like that, because then it would make it go all cloudy, like really bad. Like on the outside, probably would take away the finish of the paint job and all that. This card weighs a lot too. Underneath there, as you can see, all underneath there, right underneath here, it's all copper. It's all copper. These are crazy done cards. Oh yeah, we're gonna throw one of these in. I do have a. Oh yeah, it's so nice. Oh, so nice. I do have. Oh my god, what happened? Why is it all bent? I hope it still works. Alright, how's it going, everyone? Day 2. Yeah. A little bit different of a setup. So yesterday, testing out the card. So yesterday I was talking about this. Yep. So this is the issue that I thought I was having. So I noticed there was a big dent. So I was wondering if maybe during one of the moves or whatnot, it kind of got dropped and or banged. No, there's nothing wrong with this card. I went over it. So I thought maybe it was the cooler, 'cause it would not turn on. This thing would just run and run. So I've had these motherboards running, both of these Intel x58 SOs. I had running before, because I've done multiple tests from i7 920s to, like I said, the x5650 here. Well, this right here is the x5570, because I wanted to make sure everything was working. Yeah, so completely different RAM, completely different GPU. Motherboard, I switched from the one motherboard that I had on yesterday to the other motherboard that I had up, that I showed as well. Yeah, I've made, what, 5 videos now, 6 videos, and I had to delete them all because they were all, nothing was working. I was going off of what I thought was going to work because it worked before, but this older hardware, yeah, very temperamental sometimes. A lot of people had issues with like capacitors, and more or less capacitors, and then there's one person with a issue with like the 4 ohm shunt right by the motherboard power supply pin, 24 pin. There's a 4 ohm shunt on these, and I've only read that one person had an issue with it. So I went over the whole board. No issues. There's nothing wrong, except for there was throwing a small short. For some reason, it was throwing a small short, and it was over by the RAM slot. And I tested the RAM. I've done the config of the RAM before of just the single slot. So I put in the single slot all in the back. It would do the same thing. I put it in the third slot, same thing. Second slot, same thing. Fourth slot, same thing. I was like, okay, well, something's kind of odd here. Like, it should be throwing a RAM error if I'm switching the RAM to the slots where it should not be working. This thing has a RAM correction to make sure everything's set up right. It'll beep at you. Well, it wasn't even doing that, so I put 2 RAM sticks in it just to make sure. And yes, I'm using cheap RAM sticks just in case there was a short in anything. So if you're testing stuff and you don't have like a multimeter or know how to use a multimeter, you can use cheaper stuff. Just throw it in each spot and check to see if it's doing the same thing. And then if you know for sure that it worked before, like I did before, if it's not working, like normally motherboards will give you like an error code. It didn't beep at you, or or let you know through this one here also has LEDs. Lets you know. It lets you know up top here if it's a CPU or memory. Like it has all these things. If you just pay attention to your motherboard, it will tell you. And these are even old motherboards. Doesn't matter. It will always tell you if there's an issue. It was telling me there was no issue, but there was also an issue right off the bat, saying there was a like I said, a short somewhere, but everything would work appropriately, but not give me any kind of graphical power. So again, I checked it over, and everything was saying green. Everything's when it's going green. Everything, the hard drive LEDs telling you it's blue. That's all working. Everything's working, but there could be an issue with the smaller components. Actually, I'll start taking this apart because I'm going to be putting the actual air cooler on it. Oh yeah, different power supplies. So with these older boards too, so with these older boards as well, you can plug in this DX58 SO Intel board. This board came out in 2008. Yeah, so you can put in either a SATA power or a Molex for extra power for your graphics card. Let's say a graphics card uses more than 75 watts, even though it has a pin connect out for your PSU from your power supply here, right? You can add in a Molex to make sure that everything's going to be getting appropriate voltages and appropriate wattage, just to make sure that the 24 pins, because these older CPUs, remember, they use a lot more power than nowadays. This is just a 95 watt TDP, I believe. The x5870s are 95 watt TDP. Yeah, completely different motherboard, completely different RAM, completely different PSU, completely different GPU. So the issue was literally a short, and a short that you could not find, like you couldn't error out. And this is what a lot of people had issues with back with these boards, and not even just the Intel boards. It could have been a different board as well. They were having issues though, but a lot of people with these Intels, because yeah, these were advanced for what they were really. The short was a memory error, and you can only see it if you did something that you weren't supposed to do. Yes, I had to do something that I'm not supposed to do. No one's supposed to do, because you can, if you do it too long, you can actually, like, done. You can literally see the traces blow up down below here. You'll literally see traces blow up either down below here, or you'll smell it, or the traces on the back will be blown. It depends on what SMD goes, and then what capacitor goes, and then yeah. So what I had to do was make sure it's all turned on, and when you don't hit the power button right away, you're gonna hit the power button down here. So if you hit the power button down here and there's no power, so let's say you hit your PC and nothing happens at all. Well, down here, these pins go through different kind of traces to go and turn everything on. So instead of from the down here where there is normally a power button where you can actually physically press the power button. So I also tested the memory on different boards, the Asus board and the Sabertooth Z77 board. All the memory is fine, so that's just another way of correcting things if you have extra boards around. But the issue was, and I know I've done this before with another board, is so in storage or even just over time, you can get like a type of corrosion, and or just could be a loose hair that's just fine, had just enough oil on that hair to touch these very small components, and it will short stuff out. Well, if you looked over my one video, I was using a brush. Where's my little brushy brush? Oh yeah, yesterday was a fun day. Yeah, so I have this brush, and I also have that little fine brush. And so I clean my boards like quite nicely too, and you know, take your time to clean everything. Doesn't matter if you clean it with the brush or not. Sometimes that's not enough. You will want to wash your older stuff with water, like by hand, or isopropyl. I don't like to use the alcohols on it. Alcohols on it can, I don't know, I find you don't want to use any kind of alcohols. I'd like to just use water. Just use some nice warm water. It doesn't have to be hot. Nice warm water, and you can use your nice soft brushes again, and you can go to town and you can clean everything. Then afterwards you can do, some people do, you can do a quick like alcohol spray on it just to dry up some spots quicker so you don't get any water spots. That's one issue with water, is you can just get some water spots. But you want to dry everything as quick as possible, so I took it outside. It was like a 27 or 28 degree day, so it was really nice. Dried out the boards real quick. I did them both. They're all nice and pretty now. And so here's the setup now. Everything's working just fine. Again, still different power supply, different RAM, different everything. That was a really fun day. A lot of time wasted just from trying to figure out this error. There are tons of people out there with issues like this. When I first got these boards, the one board had issues turning on, but that was only due to the pin layouts. So they got different kind of shorts. So this right here is just a short, but they're designed to short out certain pins so that way you can overclock, configure the BIOS, do a recovery. It's just little things that you can do to help out solve problems. And again, I used all these to figure this stuff out yesterday, but none of it worked. It was just a short from a maybe a little bit of grease. Could have been from like a hair, just from sitting. It just happens. These older boards, they're temperamental now. Again, I just washed it for about 20 minutes and then set it to dry for a very long time. Checked it over, make sure it was dry. Yeah, just put those, everything's good. This is the original board, so this is the fully original, has the fan, everything on it still. Kind of nice. Yeah, so if you ever have this issue with a x58 SO, clean your board. Don't dry clean it, wash it. Like, actually clean it. Be gentle, you know, just be diligent about it. But you can, if you are desperate, more or less, or if you know what you're doing and are quick about it like I am, you can just take a piece of metal, well, you know, whatever you can use to short out the pins. I believe it's 6 and 8. So pin 6 and 8 is the power on this one, and if you do it quickly with hitting the power on the board, if you make sure when you do it real quick, you just gotta do it real quick. You just go bam like that. You gotta look up here, and there'll be the LEDs, and you gotta see if it is the memory. If it's saying the memory right off the bat, and you already know these RAM sticks work in the configuration that it works in, so just put the one stick in on the far back one. That works in all motherboards. So if it shows that it's the RAM, take everything apart. I mean, completely take it apart, wash it, let it dry out for a couple days. Or if it's a really nice day out and you're doing the blow dry, everything you can, and keep it outside for about 3 or 4 hours. Make sure it's nice and dry. Check everything over again. Make sure everything's still on it. These boards are black, so I would be careful if you live in a really hot, very sunny spot, to be careful with it. You don't want these boards getting too hot. You don't want the solder to go, and then when you move it, something fall off. That's the only thing you gotta really worry about, in my opinion. So everything's good on this. I do believe everything power. Everything's plugged in. Oh. That would help. Yep, that would help. So everything works now on it. I am going to be using the ATI card still, and I'm going to be putting the actual cooler that I was using yesterday back on it. Not the AIO. I have multiple AIOs. I have a single rad, a single 120 fan, and this 360. More or less just for testing spare parts. And voila, as you can see, everything works just fine now. I've already done Benchmate, it's in bench, everything. Temperatures with the AIO only go to 50, while it's overclocked to 4.1 gigahertz, which is pretty good. Yeah, this is the x58 they usually run around 3 gigahertz, or 2.93. Usually when you put them in these boards, they run around 3.2 gigahertz. Any other boards, it's just 3. Yeah, so I'm gonna start. I'm going to disassemble this, throw in the ATI card now. Throw the ATI card in here. I will be using the same power supply as well. Like I said, I was just doing a complete run check of motherboards and that. It's like some motherboards prefer different power supplies. This one here, it says you have to have a certain amount of draw out of your 12 volt power. So this one I just threw on this, but again, it doesn't even matter. These newer split rails they can handle it, so I don't know. I don't know why people are still asking about the power supplies and that. If you just get a decent one nowadays, you're just basically good to go. Alright. Got my ginger changer here. That was the easiest gender change I think there was. Alright, there we go. Also notice I'm missing the screw out of that one. Awesome. Get rid of that. Plug that in. And we're good to go. Oh yeah, it sounds so good. Blower style fan. Does this gender changer not work? Oh, come on, I know it works. Yeah, okay. Just the monitor wasn't switching over, apparently. I'm gonna say. Let me start my PC. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. So, I'm not going to be running Windows 7. So, Windows 7, you have to have Windows 7 to get the well, there's a way around it, but I'm not messing up my Windows download on this drive. Because I like this drive because I can actually switch it between any board from the older generation like these ones. I can switch it between any motherboard, and it will, all I have to do is just update the devices. Sometimes when you switch over the operating system from one motherboard to a different motherboard, what can happen is nothing will work. Even if it does do an updating the devices, it will just keep updating the device. It will never stop doing it. So that's why I like this operating system, Windows 10 on this one. It's my operating system. It's completely wiped out. Everything's wiped except for basic Windows 10, and it's set that way. And I have it set in the configuration for the like developer kind of options. You can set it so it will never update Windows past to what you have it set to. So it will never update my Windows to just this, and this is just what I want. It's just the bare bones for running these kind of graphics cards, nothing crazy. 3070 Ti works it no problem. It could be different for a 3080 or a 3090. I know it works for my 3070 Ti. This operating system configuration works very nice. Yeah, so we are gonna switch everything over just to show you. Yeah, it was working. This is I had to switch over the motherboard or the monitor. For some reason it didn't automatically switch over. Usually does. Yeah, so everything works just fine after washing the motherboard. Again, if you have any of this issue, you can do, like I said, that quick touch. Look to make sure it's doing a error code up top. It'll be up top. There'll be two different LEDs, CPU or memory. If it's doing to a CPU, you might have actually a CPU issue, or there could be a bigger issue than what I had, which is just cleaning the motherboard. Simply a short somewhere where it could literally just be some dust. Just literally some dust in the wrong spot. So even if you used this, a nice fine brush, even those fine brushes wouldn't get into the spot where it's shortening out. So that's just something everyone should take note. Okay, so now we will disassemble. Well, bam. Alright, so everything works just fine. Nice. So I won't be actually using this card to play Counter-Strike 2, of course. We just won't be able to do it. So I will be using a 3070 Ti. I'm just gonna put the 3070 Ti in the case though. It's a little big to be sitting up like this little area. Alright, we got the PC. Let's get it all set up. Well, the PC case. The good old Antec case. It may be old, but it's still good. I got the dust filters all in it. Clean the dust filters all out. Kind of difficult to show. So the bottom there has the filter for the power supply, which is nice. Again, this is a very old case. They just thought of everything. They thought of everything. Nope. A box of screws. Oh, we will just grab this. Not fully tighten it yet. Voila. Alright, now do I want to put the motherboard in now? Yeah, it's gonna be fairly easy to put the fans in. Nah, I'll put these fans in first. I'll put this fan in first. Oh, did they take them all out? Well, I got one. Looks like they did take them all out. Oop. Alright, got the screws. One thing to note though is the little screws that you use for your motherboards and other things too. It might not be the same on these because that even feels rough. So you might actually have to check the threads on the older ones because it could be a little different. It could be a finer thread like this one, I think. Yep, sure is. Yeah, that's the one. So you'd have to use, they're generally a flat top. Focus. Focus. Yeah, generally a flat top like that, and ultra fine thread compared to your other thread. There's one thing to note on some of these. If it feels like it's not holding your motherboard in correctly, or just feels really tight if you're trying to thread it in. It's probably not right. Alright, so I got the screws for that. I got the screws for the see? Nope, still can't see. We got. There we go. We gotta show off the front. So nice. That. Grab the screws. Yeah, so this is how you know it's old as well. And scrapyard fine. The screws for the top fans and the side fans were all slightly rusted. That is okay. I will probably paint them up next week. I have to go over a bunch of black screws I want to use for my actual build. Make sure everything looks really nice, so I'll paint them all up. Paint them all up nicely. Then afterwards, I'll go, after you screw everything in, sometimes it can change the color of the black screws or your fancy colored ones. Just make sure you get some touch up. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's one of those. I can only put two screws in it? Oh. Alright, so this is a kind of like a proprietary way they have it. It's you got these nibs, and you can only put two screws in, usually here and here. I'm just gonna use these two top screws. Yeah, it's pretty solid. So yeah, not proprietary. So yeah, these here, with these front ones, you can see. Maybe you can't see. Oh yeah, you can. Oh, you can't really see. I don't know if I can shine a light. It's really hard to see. There's a little nib there if you can see it. So these, the front fans on this here, you can only put two screws in it. A max of two. Bottom left and top right screw, and then the bottom right and the top left will have these nibs, and it just sits in there. Okay, so I got that fan all in. Apparently I got the SSD all hooked up to it still. Alright. So I got that fan all in. Not bad. We'll get the motherboard in. got that. Now let's get the IO shield in. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's a fit. Holy crap. Okay, wow. That was holy. Nice. Oh yeah, that's solid. Now, alright, make sure everything's seated down. I just like to jiggle by the screws. Everything's seated down nice. I like that. I like that a lot. Let's grab myself one more screw here for the middle. There it is. Alright. That is all set. We will throw on power connectors actually for next. Yeah, because I don't really need any other fan really in it. Oh, I really wish I had guards. I have guards, but they just look weird having different colored. Okay. Oh yeah. Starting to get heavy now. Yeah, this is plug. Let's try to do some cable management here. Should be fairly easy with this case. I need my drill. Actually, no, just a driver. I like these cases. Like you just literally just pull the back a bit, pop the top forward, boom. Very nice. It's very easy. And when it's together, it's actually very solid. When you have all the screws in, it really makes this thing solid. So this is why I like this case. These pull-through grommets were genius. Genius for making your case look good back in the day. Oh boy, that's a quite fit. Just enough room, I think. Oh yeah, just have no more pull. Holy. Come on. It's all in. Oh, thank you. It's a tight fit. Yeah, everything's still good for the power supply. Now, where's Where's the CPU cord? There it is. The CPU I'm gonna put through here. And then through here. Oh, come on now. There are no actual holders for this CPU pin, really? Really? There's no way to lock them together. There it is. Usually there's a whole lock for the 8-pin. You just put it together, make it easier. There. Do something like that. For the power connector. Yeah, when I got this, like, I'm not sure if I said this in another one, the actual power button never worked. But what you can do is pull these, the little actual actuator out, and you can switch it out. That's all I had to do. That looks alright. SSD. Put the SSD cord through here. Like that. Alright, so there's one clip. The other clip. There you go on the. Since I'm going to be doing a pull through right through the. Oh, I have to use 2 hands on that. Since I'm going to be wanting to pull all the air out right through the back of the case, I'm going to do it this way. Voila. Voila. And then I'll do the same on this one, making sure the this goes to the back, so that way when I'm done, the CPU pin connector is right here. So when I'm done, it should tuck all in nicely and look really nice. At least that's the idea. So we'll do something like that. I'll fold that over. I guess connecting it first would be easier. My hands are too big. Fan's been nice. Got the RAM already in, everything's set. Now I guess we just need to throw in the GPU. Shouldn't need external fan on it. I'm gonna be testing it for a while, so we'll see. And the piece that costs more than the whole thing together, 3070 Ti. Oh. I didn't notice that black screw there. That's odd. Actually, not much. Say no, it looks good on camera. Not bad. Oh, it's gonna look so good with the blue fan on the Intel. Graphics card's gonna be all fancy like, and everything else could be all lit. Oh, power connectors work for me. EVGA made the stupidest clips for your power supplies. They are terrible. Make them so they actually, when you put them together, you can lock them. Not just have this shit. Because then when you gotta actually do something, it's like, why in the hell? I look like a fucking dumbass doing this. Yeah, you stay over there. Make sure the case can clear. Yeah, I don't even need any of this. Just need the power switch. Just need the power switch. that one? There's no actual holder for it. Oh. Sure do. No bootable device. Oh, whoops. I passed the wire through, but I never hooked it up. Yeah, bum one. Still looks good. Yeah, let's go. Now we have a bootable device. Only thing I don't like about these fans is they're quite loud. If you gotta run them quite high, they are very loud. Alright. Get rid of some of that glare. Alright, let's see. So what's it clocking at? What is it clocking at? Oh, it's got to install the new graphics. That looks better. Everything's set to 1920 by 1080 again. Instead of your 720, your 1280 by 720. Right, so you're not going to allow me to do that. That's fine. Well, let's see what it does stock. It should be stock, right? I don't think it should be overclocked. New CPU. Hello. Oh, I could use the same. I really want to see. Let's see CPU Z here. Let's see what it's saying. It actually won't even tell me anything. Let's run. Let's run a 7-zip. And we'll just do in normal. Run it quick here. Run it quick here. We are going at about 3.1 gigahertz. Alright, so 3.1 gigahertz. Oh, I think it's actually pumping out some numbers though. 26,000 on zip. It's pumping out numbers. Was I even overclocked? Pretty sure I can get this up to close to 5 gigahertz. But that was my max I can do on it. Close to 5 gigahertz on a 7-zip. I don't think I have any score saves on here. I have 930 saved. 930 is only 4 gigs. My 3770K, 5 gig. No, I don't have any saved to the x5650. That's okay. We will go here to Steam. Oh, yeah, that's right. Guess we need some Wi-Fi. Again, these little Wi-Fi, they're the 802.11Ns. That's the Wi-Fi signal that I believe it uses. That these little guys, they actually work just fine for if you want to go into do a benchmark or something, or just go into Counter-Strike and test out some frames on the CS2 benchmark. It does work just fine. It does not affect the frames. Yeah, we have Wi-Fi. Yeah, no Steam Cloud's out of date. Of course, it's gonna be out of date. Completely different system, completely different day. Yeah, my daily right now, I'm just running the shunt modded 1070. That's all I've been using right now. Does enough frames for Counter-Strike for just some casual play. Haven't been doing Premier. Too many hackers right now up in the high ranks. I'm losing my 18-20k mark, so I want to stay up there. Oh, we got download, really? A 3 gig download, really? Oh yeah, the update. We'll be right back.